As someone who works in customer experience, customer acquisition cost is a phrase I hear all of the time. So what is it? Why is it important? And how can we start to do something about it? Customer acquisition cost, otherwise known as CAC, CAC, is the average amount of money that a business spends on acquiring a new customer for the first time. In simple terms, that's basically just the amount of money you spend on sales and marketing divided by the number of new customers that you acquire. In reality, it's often a more complicated figure to calculate, so it can involve lots of different overheads and costs. So for example, how much you're spending on your advertising or your marketing, how much you're spending on a sales team, does that sales team use analytics, software, are you offering promotions or other benefits? All of these different costs need to be taken into consideration, added together, and then divided by the number of new customers that you've acquired in a given time period. Pretty much all businesses obsess over customer acquisition costs. How much am I spending on acquiring a new customer versus how much am I making from that customer once they start to use my products or services? It's a key predictor of profitability for all businesses. For big incumbent organisations like banks, traditional banks, with relatively high customer acquisition costs, the main focus tends to be on lowering them. So how can I take a high cost and find ways to reduce that, to make my processes more efficient, to find ways to reach new customers more effectively? For newer emerging organisations like fintechs, really it's about starting from a low customer acquisition cost in the first place and then finding ways to maintain that and scale that as you grow. And for investors, this is a key thing that they look at when they're trying to determine the future profitability of some of these fintechs. They have a big focus on growth at the moment. How effective is that growth going to be in the future going forwards? Is there a quick and easy fix? Sadly, probably not. But what can you focus on? Firstly, the experience itself. So when you're designing your product or your service, how can you design an experience that your customers will want to share, that they'll want to talk to their friends and family about? That kind of organic referral is going to be far more efficient for your business than spending a huge amount of money on advertising and overheads. Secondly, I think it's also key that once you've reached those new customers, that you're giving them the easiest possible experience for onboarding, for getting into your product or service. We tend to find onboarding a little bit boring, but actually if you can make it super easy for your customers to sign up, if you can make it really, really intuitive for them to start using your service, to start returning revenue back to you, then you're going to be in a really, really good position. So it's not as simple as build it and they will come, but that's a pretty good place to start.